What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome in to the CHGO Bulls pregame, presented to you by PointsBet. Don't forget that promo code CHGO when you sign up to live your bet life.
Whose bet life?
My bet life?
Your bet
bet life?
There you go.
Joey's bet life?
Uh-huh.
I'm feeling really good about the bet I just put on Bulls Bucks earlier today.
Oh, I do have a question for you.
What's that?
Where is Matt Peck?
Hey, he's right here.
Where the hell is he?
Did you not see my press release earlier today?
Did you see my response to it?
No, I didn't.
Oh, I sent it out about 20 minutes ago.
Oh, what is it?
It simply said, this man is ridiculous.
Do you expect anything less from me?
No, I don't.
Come on now.
Joey, I do have a question for you.
For me?
Yes.
Yep.
Who took the walk to Poland?
Lil Yachty did.
Thank you very much. Just making sure you on point. You don't know what I'm talking about, Matt. I know. But I'm just making sure he on point.
I fully don't really know, but I know that's who did.
Yes. It's a thing. It's a good song.
Have you ever walked to Poland?
No, walk. W-O-C, walk.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh, I'm all kinds of confused.
Yeah, all kinds. Yes. I do have a walk, though.
I don't know what walk is, but we'll talk after
We'll
the
talk.
show.
We'll talk.
Like a thing you make stir fry in?
No.
Yeah, that's what
so
I'd say.
that W-O-K walk.
Yeah, W-O-K.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
walk.
okay. That
Walk to Poland. That's the song.
Sure. I believe you.
And I want to talk to Jake, too. Jake, we got to talk to you.
He's got his headphones on. He's busy in his office. What do you need Jake
I want
for?
to talk to him, man. I want to put him on the hot seat, man.
About what?
About all the things he's destroying in this office.
What is he? Oh, wait. Did
wanna
he fess
talk
up
to
to
him.
breaking Space Jam MJ?
No, he hasn't. But I want to ask him on air, and I want to talk to him about it. So that's why I want him to come over here.
Man.
That's why I need him. But until then, we'll get into it.
We could talk about the Bulls, I guess.
We could. You know.
Y'all follow Dave on Twitter at BWL Sports. I'm Bulls_Tech. Our producer Joey here hanging out with us. Will, the GOAT, is at the UC as we speak, getting
What up,
ready to
Justin?
report from this game tonight. Real quick, couple of lineup updates for this Bulls-Bucks preseason finale. Zach and DeMar both resting. Good for them.
Yes.
Deserve it. Fine. Bucks, no Giannis, who only played in their one preseason exhibition over in Abu Dhabi. Other than that, they've basically just shut Giannis down for the other three preseason games. Also no Brook Lopez tonight. Also no Drew Holiday tonight. And then on top of that, you also got some of their other guys that have been sitting out the whole preseason, like Middleton and a few others nursing injuries. So we might be in line for a little bit of a doo-doo preseason exhibition tonight.
It's not how I look at it, Matt. It's a chance for those
Or
other guys.
a chance for Pat and Dalen
That's
to
right.
shine.
There you go. Now you're looking at it like how I'm looking at it. I am excited to watch Patrick Williams and Dalen Terry tonight. I really am. I just want to see those guys get all the time in the world on the floor and just see some fun basketball from them, man. So that's honestly how I'm looking at it. I want to see those guys and what they do. So I'm interested in seeing the young guys out there and seeing how many threes Drummond takes. I'm interested in that as well.
Well, he went 3 for 3 in their previous game.
Yes.
I want him to launch 6 tonight.
6.
Double it.
See Emilio already on Pat to play 48 minutes.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, man. Okay. I don't know about that one, but I do want him to play.
Old Buckner is saying Marco hours inbound. We could finally see some Marco
we could.
tonight.
This could happen, man. It'd be interesting.
He did check in late in one of their preseason games. I can't remember which one, and it was like 6 garbage time minutes. But like we could see our first real Marco hours tonight.
Yes.
We're going to break down who we want to see, especially knowing that Zach and DeMar are getting the off night tonight. Step up for the Bulls. We'll also kind of take a quick look back at what the Bucks have done this offseason and look at where they stand in the tier of the powerhouses of the East, where they are compared to our beloved Bulls.
Yes.
But before all of that, wanted to start tonight's pregame with something a little fun. I don't know if you saw this today, Dave, but an official trailer dropped for a new season of this show called The Surreal Life, which I am not super familiar with. Like, I had heard of it.
Yeah.
It was basically like a celebrities version of The Real World back in the day.
Yes.
Where they would take a bunch of, like, B and C-list celebrities.
I've seen it, yes.
And put them in the same house.
I remember it well.
So apparently that show just went bye-bye for years and years and years.
For good reason.
They're bringing it back. New season debuts October 24th.
Oh, man.
And one of these celebrities in this celebrity house, the Worm.
The Worm?
This man right here.
This
man.
Oh,
Bulls
Dennis.
3-time champion, 5-time NBA champion, Hall of Famer, the greatest rebounder in the history of basketball, Dennis Rodman. Joey, do we have that trailer that we can take a look at?
One show brings you historic moments like this. Now, the first celeb reality social experiment is back.
Dennis!
Close up.
And bigger than ever.
That's my haunted doll, Susan.
Bye, Susan.
8 unfiltered celebs.
People just know me as the girl that Trump.
One room.
We can sleep together.
I'm not sleeping with you.
Surrealer than ever.
My teammate my wife. I had to go play a game that night.
We've all seen Dennis Rodman's dog.
The Surreal Life premieres Monday, October 24th on VH1.
Yo, okay.
Wow.
I don't know about
All
you.
right.
I'm not a big fan of reality TV.
Not a huge fan.
The NBA is my reality TV.
That's the good, yes.
I am going to watch the shit out of this.
Because you're just expecting the car crash. Right?
I want all of the Dennis.
Okay.
In that little 20-second trailer, we get all kinds of craziness. Dennis naked, of course.
Yes.
Frankie from Malcolm in the Middle talking about, Dennis going around flashing his dong to everybody.
We've all seen it.
What are your initial thoughts on this trailer?
Wow. Looks wild. Looks crazy. It looks like something I used to look at back in the day, and then I grew tired of very quickly. And you're like, I don't want to see that no more. But I support Dennis, man. Like in anything he's trying to do, as long as it's a positive thing and it's keeping him out of prison and off of foolishness. So I'm cool with that. Frankie Muniz, he is an interesting thing to throw in because he seems like the most calm, rational person of the whole thing.
Right.
And
Also,
that's
where has he been since Malcolm in the Middle ended?
That's a great question. I mean,
Just hanging out.
yeah, just chilling out. I don't know. I guess them checks dried up. And he needed,
He needed to do something.
Needed all them Cody Banks.
Dennis is for sure doing this for the money because he needs it.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Well,
without question.
he likes fame, too. Dennis likes fame.
He does.
He enjoys the fame, man. So let's see if it's a book coming behind this.
Right.
Might be.
I was watching a little one-off interview of Frankie Muniz promoting this show on someone's like podcast on YouTube, and he was talking a little bit more about it behind the scenes. Yeah. And he was talking about how most everyone in that house was just messed up the whole time they were shooting it. Which honestly kind of made me a little bit sad because I know that Dennis has been, trying to, fight for his sobriety for years and years and years in his retirement years.
True.
And he's been on and off the wagon.
Yes.
Apparently, at least while they were shooting this reality show, he had once again fallen off the wagon.
Which is why they roll the camera.
Well, yeah, it's like, hey, Dennis, here's a bottle of booze.
Right. We're going to set you up.
How about you pound it and go crazy?
Those reality shows set you up, man. Like, they'll put you in that incredible house, no worries, no cares, and then just surround you with a ridiculous bar full of any liquor that you need. So, they give you the tools to, make your own mistakes and record it all.
Right.
We'll see it. But when you asked me this, I asked you to name 4 celebrities off of there.
Right. And so the 3 that I could recognize were on like the poster for the show were Dennis, Frankie, and Stormy Daniels.
Right.
Who I did not know until she was, on freaking every headline 4 years ago.
Sure you didn't, Matt. So,
Did you know who Stormy Daniels was before she became embroiled in a political scandal?
Honestly, I didn't, but it was funny because after she became popular, I went back and saw her in I think she was in 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Really?
Or something like that. I think she was in something like that. And I was
sure
like,
you did.
Oh, snap. Mm-hmm. See, it works both ways. It's easy, kids.
more like 40 not virgins.
But I asked you the 4th because I thought you'd get the 4th one, man. The one
so you said
missed.
somebody was in Frasier?
Yes.
Who's in this? Was it, okay, my outside shot guess was going to be the woman who comes in and is like briefly Frasier's co-host on the radio who drives him crazy, who then goes on to get her own show, but she's not an actress who's like I could know by name. Was that one of the women who was on there?
That is correct.
Boom!
Dr. Mary.
There you go.
That is correct. That is Kim Coles is her name. Kim Coles. Very, very funny. She's been around for a long. She started on Living Color with Jim Carrey.
Oh, okay.
That's where she started. And Living Single, she's been on a ton of things. She's amazingly funny. But yes, Dr. Mary on Frasier drove him absolutely bonkers that she was super popular. Yeah, and it was great. I was very proud.
Love
Good
that.
job, Matt. Good job.
By the way, I was catching up with a friend last week, and she was saying like, oh yeah, some friend of mine was like, pushing me to watch Frasier, and I doubled down and was like, yes, watch it. And I told her all about how my friend Big Dave convinced me to watch Frasier 20 years after it aired.
I did.
And it was one of the greatest things I've ever watched.
Yes, thank you very much, man.
The other thing about this trailer, and I'm of course now dying to know because I'm a busybody, is that one little clip where Dennis is talking about how one of his teammates slept with his wife.
Yes.
And then he was like, oh, and I had to go play a game that night with that teammate.
Yeah.
Is it a Pistons teammate? Is it a Spurs teammate?
Yeah.
Is it a Bulls teammate?
I'm curious. Yeah, I'm very curious about it because I'm like, what wife?
Right?
You know, because the first I just think immediately Carmen Electra.
Several.
But I immediately think of Carmen Electra.
Well, and he and Carmen were married for what, like 2 weeks?
Yeah, but it's the one that comes to your head, you know, immediately.
Right.
Because they were doing some wild things together, like knocking it out the park on the actual Bulls court.
Right.
At the Advocates.
Right.
Like, they did that.
And I can't imagine that he would have been that upset about it.
Right.
Like,
right.
my guess is that through the duration of Dennis and Carmen Electra's relationship, they each had several partners and were okay with that.
Yeah,
That's just my assumption.
I mean, it sounds right. You know what I'm saying? We'll wait till we see the Vegas movie to see it be confirmed. But it sounds correct. It sounds right. But it did intrigue me.
Emilio's guessing that it's Luke Longley.
Luke Longley.
I'm guessing no.
Hey, if anybody's got a name for him, it's Luke Longley.
There's no way. That's you know, in the top 5 least likely teammates.
It's always
probably
the unassuming ones, man. You never know, bro.
Hey, man.
You never know. It's always the quiet ones. Someone said Scottie Pippen. No, Scottie ain't that cool to do something like that.
Now, Marcus Jordan, on the other hand, apparently that's going down as we speak.
Not that man said, please be Benny. Oh man, dog, that is hilarious.
Yikes!
But yes,
So like, I'm gonna set my DVR and I'm gonna at least watch the season premiere.
Okay,
just to scope out what it's like.
I love how they started by saying we've given you such historic moments. Like, historic? Really? These were historic moments? Oh man, we are doomed. But yeah, I do want to see the first episode.
Yeah,
I agree. I do.
Absolutely.
Joe, you want to see this?
There's literally nothing I'd rather not watch. Zero interest.
Did you know anybody on there?
I didn't recognize Frankie Muniz, but I know who that is. I know Dennis Rodman. That's it.
That's it? Okay.
I know Dennis Rodman, but it's like I didn't grow up watching him play, so his antics are a little like, I don't know. There's no draw for me.
No, I understand. No, it makes sense. It makes sense, man. It's more for people like me and Matt to see and say, oh, look.
Yeah, lunatics.
Yeah, lunatics.
Yeah, exactly.
Bulls lunatics.
Bulls lunatics. Can't wait to see it.
Just like, I don't want Dennis to use it as a grandstand to be like, so about all my whole like North Korea plans, like Dennis has got to put that in the rearview mirror.
Guess who's at the door?
Dennis honestly has to put a lot of things in the rearview mirror.
I like how Mike says possibly Jack Haley. Actually, that's a good guess. That's a good guess. Jack Haley was a wild boy. He got down, man.
R.I.P. Jack.
R.I.P. to Jack, man.
All right, so October 24th, The Surreal Life returns, starring Dennis Rodman.
What happens before that, though?
Set your TiVos, guys.
Oh, but something's happening before that. October 19th.
Bulls
season.
A week from tomorrow, the Bulls season officially opens.
Yes.
Against our old friend Jimmy Buckets.
Oh, I can't wait, man.
But before that, we've got one more preseason game that's tipping off in about 20 minutes. So let's talk about that coming up next. But first, real quick, today's episode brought to you guys by PointsBet.
PointsBet.
Don't forget to sign up using that promo code CHGO to get your first 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. And we've been telling you all football season long, you got to be having fun with those live same-game parlays and those PointsBet lightning bets for every football Saturday and Sunday. So whether you're on the move or on the couch, do it live on PointsBet.
Yes.
And you can throw some bets on over-unders and spreads for these NBA preseason games. When I got to the office a few hours ago, I was very stoked to put down an under on tonight's Bulls-Bucks, which was all the way up at 229.5. And I was sitting here saying, there's a chance that the Bulls and or Bucks rest some guys tonight. Last preseason game, they're probably not going to take it too seriously. So I'm going to take the under. 229.5 is a lot.
Okay.
Maybe 15 or 20 minutes after I place that bet, I get an alert. Zach and DeMar, rest. 10 minutes after that, Giannis, out. Holiday, out. All these players, out. And then in like the 20-minute span from when I placed that bet to those announcements and then going back to check, it had already come down 6 points to 223.5.
Wow. Okay.
So here's your Tuesday PointsBet pick of the week. If you're still feeling like it's going to be not a great game, a lot of missing, a lot of chucking bricks, you can take that under at 223.5. I'm sitting pretty at 229.5.
All right.
Or Bulls minus 6.5 favorites at home right now. I might take the Bucks and the points just because it's a garbage bowl.
He just might.
Yeah.
He just might.
Neil, where are the Burks? It's a gross rainy day here in Chicago, so I left the Burks at home.
I see Dontavius letting us know who's starting tonight. With looks like Ayo Dosunmu, Kobe White, Dalen Terry, Patrick Williams, and Nikola Vucevic.
There you go. I saw somebody else in the comments say that, they thought that Vooch had earned himself a night off. And
I did too.
I don't disagree with that.
I don't either.
Although, you know what? I'm totally content to sit down tonight and watch Vooch ball out some more.
I'm not mad at it at all.
I mean, he's gotten himself in a nice rhythm in these preseason games. Keep that rhythm going.
Isn't that interesting? Like, I'm like, yeah, I like to see him rest, but yeah, you want to go out there? Sure. I don't mind you doing it. So yeah, I'm interested to see him play, man. I like to see this.
So
interesting lineup.
With what we know now about the Bulls lineup tonight and the key guys in Zach and DeMar getting some rest, if you were to name a player you want to see put their stamp on this game, Dave, who is that player tonight?
Papa!
On it, Joey.
That was chemistry right there.
I am going with Patrick Williams. I need Patrick to put his stamp on this game tonight because I talked about a lot how Patrick Williams, it feels like he needs permission to go out there and be great because DeMar and Zach and guys out there are like that. And he said in an interview, well, we want to get those guys off. Those are the guys you want to, get started and make sure they get in their groove. They're gone. They're off tonight. So now you don't have to worry about doing anything like that. So cut that part of your brain off there, sir, and go on out there, get the basketball, and do what you do. Because I got a feeling he's going to get some minutes to do what he does. So I would like to see him put that stamp, pow, of the night on the game.
I'm right there with you.
Oh.
I'm doubling down.
Yes.
Pat.
Pow.
Especially because no Zach and no DeMar. What we've seen from Pat, whether it be last season or even in certain stretches of minutes in these first 3 preseason games, is that he is more aggressive when those guys are off the floor, or at least one of those guys is off the floor, and he has an entire game worth of minutes tonight where he can say, okay, no Zach, no DeMar.
Right.
I can put it upon myself to be more aggressive and look to get some offensive looks. Whether it be taking his open threes when they're there, but even more so, I liked a lot of the opportunities Pat seized in their previous preseason game on Sunday when he put the ball on the floor and drove. And they all ended up with either, a miss or a miss/foul or whatever, but drawing contact in some way. Do more of that. Ideally, we see him finish at the rim tonight, but I liked what I saw from him in those moments against Toronto, and I want to see more of them tonight. We need to see attacking Pat tonight. There's no excuse not to see it tonight.
Yes, we need to see attackery from Pattery.
Ooh, Pattery,
attackery. Yes, I can't. I'm excited to see that and also we saw how well he played with Ayo Dosunmu. Also,
right.
I think Ayo plays well with him, and he'll be a little freed up to do. But he has, excuse me, he hasn't had a problem with aggression or anything like that. But I'm just saying he'll be freed up to get about 16 shots if he wants to get up 16 shots.
Right,
he can do his thing in that way. So yeah, him, and Dalen Terry also. Very interested in watching him. He's just becoming must-see television for Bulls fans. He really is. As soon as he walks in the game, you want to see what he's doing. He elevates everything as soon as he's out there. So this has to be an awesome moment for him also. I don't care that it's preseason. It's an awesome moment for him to have on the jersey of the team that you wanted to play for, and you're in the starting lineup. That's an awesome moment for that young man as a rookie, man. So,
Brandon in the comments is predicting that Dalen's about to drop 30 tonight.
Oh, all right.
Would love to see that.
Would love to see that, Brandon. Make it happen, baby.
AK saying we need to see that P-Will from that last Timberwolves game. Yes. Okay, so after the Bulls had clinched that 6th seed, and it was game 82 last spring before their playoff series against Milwaukee started, and they rested a lot of guys, Pat went out there and took a bunch of shots and poured in, 20-some points. And you're like, okay, great. Do that. You're in exactly the same scenario tonight, Pat. Quote-unquote meaningless game. No consequences if you have a bad night, if you go out and take a lot of shots and you don't hit, as many of those shots as you'd like. 0 consequences. Go out and try to put your stamp on this game.
Can't wait to see it, man. Hey, shout out to my man Sai right there saying he's finally caught us live. 4 a.m. where he's at in the UAE. What's UAE?
United Arab Emirates.
That's what I
that
thought.
was going to be my guess.
Congratulations, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you for shouting us. Thank you for checking us out at 4 a.m., my friend.
That's impressive.
That is impressive.
Are you up still, or are you up early.
Yeah, are you coming in from something,
Right.
or are you just up early?
I don't know about you, Dave, but the amount of times I see 4 a.m. as a woke up, time to start the day, 4 a.m. versus, oh, crap, I'm still awake, it's 4 a.m.
Yeah.
It's most often the latter.
It's changed now because my situation is different now. So I'm up sometimes I should say all the time at 4 a.m. But usually it was me coming in at 4 a.m. You know what I'm saying? Like being out and then on my way somewhere to do some fun things at 4 a.m. That's usually why I was up. So yeah. And fun and wasn't it best going to the restaurants at 4 a.m.? That was my favorite. I loved going to the 24-hour diners at 4 a.m. That was my best.
Restaurants that are open at 4 a.m. never really feel all that like a place you want to be.
Oh, you gotta hang out with me, man. It was I always found one. Bro. And it wasn't crowded. It was yes.
My friends and I, when we were young, like high school, college years, we would hang out at 24-hour steak and shakes sometimes.
Oh wow, okay.
Just fries.
There were 24-hour
milkshakes,
steak and
burgers.
shake?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all had it nice. That's pretty good.
Steven in the comments said, I'd say if Pat puts up a stinger tonight, he won't start, but not a bad punishment. I don't think tonight's performance from Pat will really carry any weight.
Yeah.
Maybe it's crazy to suggest that, but I honestly think that Billy knows what he has so far from Pat, from Javonte, from all these options, and he's going to make a decision not based on what he sees from Pat tonight, but honestly what he has seen throughout training camp and in this collection of 4 preseason games.
Yes, can't wait to see it, man. He said he just had to wake up for the game.
Kudos
just had
to you.
to wake up for the game. So
kudos to you.
Kudos for waking up for the game and waking up with us, bro. Thank you very much.
Bulls Fans International, man. I love it so much.
It is, man.
Shout out. I saw the first guy in the comments was our pal Troy, all the way over there in Australia.
Yeah, shout out to Troy, man.
Troy, if you ever tell Marquet, tell him to take it easy.
Hey. I saw Marquet was dead on about your look, though, in the comments. He was dead on.
What did he say?
You know, basically called you Joe Exotic. So he was pretty dead on about that.
Hey, man.
I mean, I was thinking it before he wrote it. I was like,
I don't have a poorly bleached rat tail.
You don't.
So
you don't.
I'm going to object a little bit to that.
But if somebody put a fake tiger right there next to you, that's Christmas. You're done. I'm sorry. That's Halloween. You're done. You're done, man. Go get that shirt. Get you
this
a fake
is just
tiger.
a normal Bulls colors flannel, not a weird Joe Exotic shirt.
The mustache didn't have as much like handlebars before.
True.
Didn't
Right,
come
true.
down.
So-
it didn't come down like it didn't really have any like in your caricature that we had made from the beginning of
No,
the.
it's just a normally
just
shaped
thick
mustache,
one, yeah.
Straight-
which is what I plan to do in like a day or two. But in my transition from phase beard to phase stash, I always like to keep a silly looking mustache at least for a couple days.
Okay, because then you have the soul patch one time.
I did it for a while. I have a soul patch back in the COVID days.
All right,
yeah,
I remember that.
but I decided to nix the soul patch.
I do remember this. Yeah, now he was going through a lot, Joey, during that COVID time. The pictures
I had a full on like.
pictures we were getting
I
about
wasn't
his
going
beard.
through anything much more than the average person.
So
I was just
Which
stuck
is a
at home
lot.
and bored.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You were going through.
I
stuff.
took a Clippers and buzzed in a zero mohawk on my head.
Wait, you buzzed what now?
I buzzed like a mohawk into my head, but I thought it was like the Clippers were on 0. I didn't think they were going to be on 0, so I was like legitimately bald.
Oh, I thought you meant you like shaved the shape of
That's
the
what I
number
thought. Yeah.
0
No,
on
no.
top of your
no,
head.
like the Clippers
like
were on
Friar Tuck or something.
like 0 inch Clippers, so it was like
Real close.
legitimately no hair.
Yeah.
And then I looked like
Where are the pictures of this?
Chuck Liddell. I'll show you the pictures.
Yes, I can't wait to see these. I gotta see this.
While you're looking for that, real quick, before we get out of here, just wanted to check in with our divisional foes, the Milwaukee Bucks. So our guy Will jokes all the time about how obsessed the Bulls are with continuity this offseason, right?
Yes.
Leading him from last season to this season.
Sure.
If there's another team in the league that has done that as much so, if not more, as the Bulls, it's these Milwaukee Bucks, who had a tough exit after beating the Bulls in the first round. Obviously, the loss of Chris Middleton hurt a lot, but they turned back around this offseason and said, we're bringing you back, we're bringing you back, we're bringing you back. Joey, do we have that graphic we used from back on our Bucks offseason review episode? So there you see it. So they bring in Ingles, who, if he's healthy enough to play at some point this season, could be a really nice pickup for them.
Sure.
Our guy Bobby Portis back on a 4-year deal. Shout out to him, almost $50 million. Connaughton back, Carter back, Matthews back, Ibaka back.
Baka.
Plus, obviously, Giannis under contract, Middleton under contract, Lopez under contract. It is the very same Milwaukee Bucks plus maybe Joe Ingles.
Yeah.
What do you think about this Bucks continuity, because continuity is a lot more logical of a plan for a team that was as stacked and favored to go deep in the playoffs last season as the Bucks were compared to the Bulls.
It's funny how the Bulls got made fun of their continuity, but then I'm like, I look at the Raptors, then I looked at the Bucks, and I'm like, they did the same thing. But talking about the Bucks, I get it because they won. You know what I mean? It's different when you can say, yeah, I would like to bring this back.
The core of that roster won a chip.
Exactly. So it's like bringing people back that you want a chip with makes sense in the realm of continuity. And also you can say it last year, they lost because of an injury. They can easily say that because Chris Middleton not being there, they went 7 games with Boston. So they had an opportunity to get to the next round and maybe get to another NBA Finals if healthy, but they weren't healthy. But I'm sure they're looking at stuff like that, and they're like, yeah, we're still okay. Giannis is still Giannis. Holiday is still great. You will have a healthy Middleton. Bobby Portis is beloved. We'll have Connaughton. We'll have Matt's favorite player also out there. Excuse me. Yeah. So, yeah, why not bring these guys back and run it back? And we can save some money in the process by doing it too, because it's not going to be big contracts for those kind of guys either. So I don't mind what they did because they already have proof in the actual pudding.
Right. So do we believe in these Bucks, assuming health? If Middleton comes back, Middleton's been out the entire preseason, entire offseason. If Middleton's healthy and by and large most of this roster is healthy, do we see them over Boston as the team to beat in the East? Because as of right now, shout out to our friends at PointsBet, the Bucks are second among teams to win the East odds-wise. Boston's at 275, Milwaukee 325, Brooklyn 350, Philly all the way at plus 700. And then to win the NBA Finals outright, they are fourth at plus 700 behind Boston at 600, Warriors 650, Clippers also 650.
Clippers, man. Everybody's on them Clippers.
I don't know. I mean, okay, theoretically, yes, Kawhi, Paul, and Wall.
Also watch them lose in the bubble when they get together.
Right, exactly. Brooklyn plus 350 being only 25 different than Milwaukee is crazy to me.
Yeah, I agree.
That Brooklyn number should be higher.
Yeah, I agree.
But so what do you think about this? I mean, do you think it's reasonable that the Bucks, based on Vegas, are seen as the second favorites in the East behind Boston?
It's reasonable to me, but I think the Bucks are number one personally. But I get why they're saying it. I mean, Boston won. They went there, so it's easy to just say, hey, they'll go back and do it again. That's really rare for a team to get there, lose, and come back again the next year. It's rare unless you got like LeBron. You know what I'm saying? It's a very rare thing to do. It's even in football, when guys get to the Super Bowl, they usually struggle the next year. Hello, Rams.
Woof.
That's usually how it goes. You know what I'm saying? In that situation, unless you're the Buffalo Bills. Again, it's rare. So yeah, I personally have Milwaukee as the team to beat because you still have quote unquote the best player in the game right now. So why wouldn't I go with that? And plus, knowing what Boston is dealing with as far as their turmoil is concerned, I think they'll get it together later on in the season. I really do. But I think starting off the season, they're going to have to find their footing. And Milwaukee already has both feet firmly planted on the ground. So they're going to take off running. And, yeah, again, you have nothing for Giannis, man. It's just a scary individual, man. You ain't got nothing for that.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people maybe put too much into the Udoka suspended for a year, so the Celtics have to adjust to a new head coach coming in. And then obviously probably more important is the situation with Williams and that injury, because we know how important he is to that team.
Big time injury, yeah.
I think collectively those two things are enough to give a little bit of a nudge back to the Bucks in their favor.
Okay.
I also think that the Bucks could be a team that bides their time and doesn't necessarily put a huge emphasis on winning as many regular season games as possible.
Okay.
Because I think that they believe in their ability to win playoff series with their collective talent, their many years of experience together, and Budenholzer coaching, where they won't care if they're third or fourth as opposed to first or second come regular season seeding.
Exactly.
So I thought midsummer that I'm like, Celtics are going back to the finals. They kept a core. They added a couple interesting pieces. I'm now leaning Bucks a little bit.
Yeah. It just feels like, and because you saw it work so well, even last year.
Right.
You just saw it, and you just can point to literally one thing and say, well, he was hurt.
And that series last year goes 7 games.
7, yeah.
If Middleton's playing, That's probably a Bucks win.
Probably a Bucks win, man. Yeah. So it's in their whole run, it's been a lot of probablys.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kevin Durant's foot, you know what I'm saying, is a probably, and the injury we just talked about is a probably. So, but one fell their way, the other one didn't. So, yeah, let's see what it looks like this year. But for me, they're still the team to beat.
Still the team to beat. Also, shout out to Brazil Popular in the comments. Brazil's in the house too.
Hey,
Bulls fans
this is
are
Brazil.
everywhere. I love that. And shout out to our guy Hayes, who said, looks like Matt's about to hit an SOB with a Stone Cold Stunner. That's a Stone Cold Steve Austin reference?
Very good, Matthew.
Hey,
High five.
I know some wrestling
Hey,
things.
I'm revving off. Hey.
All right, it is 7:01 Central Time. That means it's time for tip-off. Hit
hit the like button.
What?
Hit the like button.
They said
Yeah.
it at the same
I'm right
Oh,
there
we
with
got
ya.
chemistry, both of us, all
What's
three
going
of us
on?
today.
You got to
There
go in today,
with ya,
bro. You got
Joey.
to go in today.
Shout out, appreciate you, everybody. We had 100+ hanging out for pregame tonight.
Oh, thank you.
Get that number of likes up before you
likes
log
up.
off. We
That
appreciate
thumb
it.
right there.
We're going to
Hit
go
it.
watch the game on some couches over there.
Yeah.
And then we'll come right back here, sit back down in these chairs,
Yep.
and do postgame. And who's joining us for postgame?
Is it the one, the only from the land down under?
Mark K will be joining us remote for part of our post-game show, and then after Mark joins
Bring
us,
me a
we
Veggie
will
Mike sandwich.
hear from our guy Will the Go Gottlieb checking in from the UC. Bulls Bucks preseason finale starts now. Thanks for watching pregame. For Joey, for Big Dave, I'm Peck. We'll see you after for postgame.
Peace.
See you, Red. Be good.